Welcome everybody to GISalley.com. My name is Kelly Peters. I'm the Chief Operations Officer of the Rocky Mountain Innovation Initiative, and today I'm proud to have Dr. Melinda Laituri on the phone, and she is going to present a video of what's happening at CSU with GIS. Dr. Laituri is currently at Colorado State University in the Forest, Rangeland, and Watershed Stewardship Department. So thank you for being here today.
Thanks, Kelly. What I want to talk about is just giving an overview of some examples of research activities in GIS at CSU. There is a lot of research going on throughout the university, and I just want to be very clear that this is not an exhaustive list. In addition to some of the projects that I've highlighted here, we have activities in business and atmospheric sciences and environmental health, the Center for the Environmental Management of Military Lands, the Colorado National Heritage Program, and several others. As we gather information across campus through our activities at the Geospatial Centroid at CSU, we'll be putting this up on our website that will launch on GIS Day this year. So just some examples at the Warner College of Natural Resources. I'll start with some of the things I do. I work on indigenous knowledge GIS in terms of working with different intertribal groups in the Yukon. Also have research projects in New Zealand with the Maori and work going on in Fiji as well. I have projects with co-trails. We call that co-trails at Colorado State Parks. We're working on developing, at least throughout Larimer County, identifying all the trails that are there with the aim possibly to expand to the entire state. I work on GIS training for land managers and resource managers and have projects in Ethiopia and Vietnam, and I have a research project going on in China and Mongolia looking at herder patterns. The URL at the bottom of the screen here indicates the activities that my graduate students do in my graduate student GIS class. We partner with someone every year and create GIS demonstration projects to try to have people beyond the GIS community understand how you can use things that are geospatial. Another example from the Warner College is Dave Theobald. He has a number of projects with focusing on conservation GIS. He works on things that have to do with an inventory of open space, forecasting development patterns, modeling landscape connectivity, assessing the effects of fire on water resources, doing hydrologic network modeling, and he has a number of other projects that you can view at his website. Another example of things at CSU and the College of Engineering is in the Department of Civil Engineering, where they're doing multiple projects that have to do with impact of salinity on evapotranspiration, efficient irrigation, water management in the Rio Grande, hydrologic modeling on the Colorado River, and working with geovisualization both in terms of river operations and then also looking at flood inundation, and that they did some follow-up work in the city of New Orleans after the Katrina catastrophe. In the anthropology department, where we've hired 2 new geospatial specialists, we have Jason Seibold, who is identifying spatial patterns in climate change impacts on wildfire. So he's not only looking at forest cover and elevation, precipitation, lightning, those sorts of things, but he also is doing work with the bark beetle and the impacts that will have in conjunction with wildfire. Stephen Leitz is another one of our geographers in anthropology. He has work where he does a lot of work with remote sensing. He's one of our 2 remote sensors on campus, and he does work in farming systems in Southeast Asia, looking at activities in Vietnam, and then looking at high-resolution DEMs for archaeological work. The Natural Resource Ecology Lab highlights a couple of different activities. The International Biological Information Science Center is looking at citizen science initiatives for methods where we can look at invasive species and how we might detect those over time. Additionally, they've developed the National Institute of Invasive Species Science, and again, this works with citizen scientists to upload locations where invasive species are located. They're really on the cutting edge of using Internet GIS and how we might move that forward. Other researchers, we have partnerships with the Morelli Foundation, where we've done ecosystem research, looking at sustainable programs, and again, some more web-based GIS training and scholar and student exchanges at the Addis Ababa University. Paul Evangelista in the Natural Resource Ecology Lab does a lot of natural resource management and conservation in Ethiopia that cover vegetation, Mountain Nyala, GIS training, GPS training, and habitat quality assessments. Randy Boone is also in the Natural Resource Ecology Lab and has work all over the world that look at really intersecting modeling with GIS, so Bayesian modeling, looking at human-wildlife dynamics, wildebeest forage acquisition and fragmented landscapes, extreme weather events, and privatization of land in Kenya. Raj Kolsha has a number of projects that have to do with agriculture, so he's looking at site-specific zones in terms of using GIS and remote sensing for nitrogen management. He's looking at monitoring spatial and temperature and temporal distribution of pesticide degradation, and remote sensing and GIS for irrigated corn cropping systems in Colorado. He does a lot of work with our extension agents, as well as bringing in a really new arena for how our extension agents can interact with technology and the population that needs best to understand these activities. CSU plans to have our information technologies research group plans to hold a research workshop focusing on GIS, and this will happen in February of 2010 to discuss collaboration and partnerships across the GIS Alley, and this is an invitation to include the larger community to that event.
Thank you, Dr. Laituri, for your valuable time today with an update on the GIS activities at CSU. And to those of you following GIS in northern Colorado, please continue to check back at gisalley.com. And for any additional questions about this initiative, you can contact me directly at 970-581-5395. Thank you.